Fondue is a Swiss, Italian, and French dish of melted cheese served in a communal pot over a chafing stand heated with a candle or spirit lamp, and eaten by dipping long-stemmed forks with bread into the cheese. It was promoted as a Swiss national dish by the Swiss Cheese Union in the 1930s, and was popularized in North America in the 1960s. Since the 1950s, the name fondue has been generalized to other dishes in which a food is dipped into a communal pot of liquid kept hot in a fondue pot, chocolate fondue, in which pieces of fruit are dipped into a melted chocolate mixture, and fondue bourguignonne, in which pieces of meat are cooked in hot oil. Etymology: the word fondue is the feminine passive past participle of the French verb fondre used as a noun. It is first attested in French in 1735, in Vincent La Chapelle's Cuisine moderne, and in English in 1878. History: the earliest known recipe for cheese fondue as we know it today comes from a 1699 book published in Zurich, under the name Currency SS mit Wein zu kochen, to cook cheese with wine. It calls for grated or cut-up cheese to be melted with wine, and for bread to be dipped in it. However, the name cheese fondue, until the late 19th century, referred to a preparation including eggs and cheese, as in La Chapelle's 1735 fondue de fromage, au truffes fraîches. It was something between scrambled eggs with cheese and a cheese soufflé. Copyright Brillat Savarin wrote in 1834 that it is nothing other than scrambled eggs with cheese. Variations included cream and truffles in addition to eggs, as well as what is now called raclette. The first known recipe for the modern cheese fondue under that name, with cheese and wine but no eggs, was published in 1875, and was already presented as a Swiss national dish. Despite its modern associations with rustic mountain life, it was a town dweller's dish from the lowlands of Western, French-speaking, Switzerland. Rich cheese like Brie was a valuable export item which peasants could not afford to eat. The introduction of cornstarch to Switzerland in 1905 made it easier to make a smooth and stable emulsion of the wine and cheese, and probably contributed to the success of fondue. Fondue was popularized as a Swiss national dish by the Swiss Cheese Union in the 1930s as a way of increasing cheese consumption. The Swiss Cheese Union also created pseudo-regional recipes as part of the spiritual defense of Switzerland. After World War II rationing ended, the Swiss Cheese Union continued its marketing campaign, sending fondue sets to military regiments and event organizers across Switzerland. Fondue is now a symbol of Swiss unity. In the meantime, fondue continued to be promoted aggressively in Switzerland, with slogans like La Fondue Cra copyright La Bonne Humeur Fondue creates a good mood, and Fondue ist gut und geht gute Laune. Fondue is good and creates a good mood, abbreviated as Fegel. Fondue was promoted to Americans at the Swiss Pavilion's Alpine restaurant at the 1964 New York World's Fair. The extension of the name fondue to other dishes served in a communal hot pot dates to 1950s New York. Conrad Egli, a Swiss restaurateur, introduced fondue bourguignon at his Chalet Suisse restaurant in 1956. In the mid-1960s, he invented chocolate fondue as part of a promotion for Toblerone chocolate. A sort of chocolate mousse or chocolate cake had also sometimes been called chocolate fondue starting in the 1930s. Preparation: cheese fondue consists of a blend of cheeses, wine and seasoning. To prepare the caquelon, it is first rubbed with a cut garlic clove. White wine is slightly heated with cornstarch, and then grated cheese is added and stirred until melted. It is often topped off with a bit of kirsch. The cornstarch or other starch is added to prevent separation. The mixture is stirred continuously as it heats in the caquelon. When it is ready, diners dip cubes of bread speared on a fondue fork into the mixture. Temperature and la religieuse a cheese fondue mixture should be kept warm enough to keep the fondue smooth and liquid but not so hot that it burns. If this temperature is held until the fondue is finished, there will be a thin crust of toasted cheese at the bottom of the caquelon. This is called la religieuse. It has the texture of a cracker and is almost always lifted out and eaten. Cheese fondues Swiss Neutre Saint-Eloise, Gruyère and Emmental. Moische copyright Gruyère and Freiburg Valerin. Vaudoise, Gruyère. Framboise, Varin fille bourgeoise of fondue, wherein potatoes are often dipped instead of bread. This is the only cheese fondue that does not use wine. The cheese is melted in a few tablespoons of water over low heat. Generalized, gruyere with a little Emmentaler and Valais cheese. Sometimes chopped sauté copyright Ed Morels are added. Initialize, gruyere, Emmental, and Sprinz. Appenzella cheese with cream added. Tomato, gruyere, Emmental, crushed tomatoes, and wine. Spicy, gruyere, red and green peppers, with chili. Mushroom, gruyere, Freiburg Valerin, and mushrooms. French Savoyard, Comte copyright, Beaufort and Henri Blochen. Jurassian, mature or mild Comte copyright. Italian Alpine Val d'Itaine, Fontina, milk, eggs, and truffles, typical of the Ulster Valley. Fondue to Piemontese in Piedmont. Ready-to-eat refrigerated fondue blends are sold in most Swiss supermarkets as convenience food and need little more than melting in the caquelon. Individual portions heatable in a microwave oven are also sold. Other fondues. Broth Fondue genoise is a common name for hot pot, where meat and vegetables are cooked in a shared pot of broth. Various sauces are provided on the side. Uniquely, the meal is finished off when all the diners have finished cooking their ingredients by sharing out the broth, which now contains an amalgam of all of the flavors from the earlier ingredients. Chocolate slices of fruit or pastry are dipped in a caquelon of melted chocolate. Other types of dessert fondues can include coconut, honey, caramel, and marshmallow. Oil Fondue bourguignon consists of a fondue pot filled with hot oil into which diners dip pieces of meat to cook them. Various dipping sauces are provided on the side. Traditions and etiquette. A tradition says that if a man loses his bread in the pot, he buys drinks all around, and if a woman does, she must kiss her neighbors. Most writers recommend that each morsel be put in the pot only once and that the dipping fork be used only to transport the food from the pot to one's plate, not to eat. The choice of beverage to drink with fondue is specified in several conflicting traditions. Some demand that white wine should be drunk, while others specify black tea as the beverage of choice. Some people drink a shot of spirits during or after the meal. However, a study published in 2010 showed that none of these beverages caused indigestion after eating fondue. See also, barnacada, a similar olive oil-based northern Italian dish. Chocolate fountain, list of bread dishes, list of cheese dishes, list of cheese soups, neighbor mono, a variety of Japanese hot pot dishes, shabu a Japanese version of Chinese hot pot, sop, raclette, Welsh rabbit, food portal. Notes. References. Further reading, Fondue is a social event, Isabelle Rabouche 1/4 comment La Fondue Vinto Suisses. In, Annals Raboucheoises No. 72, 2010, pages 101–112. External links, Fondue at DMOZ.